Rogers TV Durham would like to acknowledge that we are on the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation of the Mississauga Nation. May we respectfully honor the knowledge and understanding of the Indigenous stewards of these ancestral lands and ensure that the voices of the First Peoples are represented in our collections, programs, and services.
The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to At the Heart of Business. I'm your host, Judith Tate. At the Heart of Business is a conversation with women in business discussing their challenges and successes. My first guest today is Rochele Carpio. Hi, Rochele.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
So tell us about RNRC Aesthetics. What is that about?
So RNRC Aesthetics is, I'm a registered nurse, so I opened up this clinic downtown Whitby. We focus on treatments like Botox, fillers, cosmetic injectables as a whole. But our main focus is transforming lives and not so much on these procedures. We really get to know our patients, what their goals are with these treatments. And I'm a solo woman for now, so I'm on my own kind of starting this journey of cosmetic injectables. Okay. Yeah.
That's great. Now, I see a lot of people in that space right now. What sets you apart from those other ones that I've seen online or your competitors?
So I feel that what sets me apart is my really willingness to get to know my patients, not just perform their procedures, but really get to know their why. Why do they decide to do this procedure now? What are they trying to accomplish once they get this done? And how do they feel that this is going to change them as a person and their lives afterwards? So more focused on the transformation versus the actual procedure itself.
Now, I love that you used the word transformation. So that tells me that you have some type of a process, like when you're dealing with clients. Tell us a bit about that.
So I invite them to come in for a consultation before the procedure itself, where I really get to know, listen, do you have an event coming up that you're trying to look good for? Are you going through a hard time in your life and you want to maybe pick yourself back up again? So I get to know what they think they need. I give them suggestions as to what we might have to do to get them to where they want to be. And then we perform the procedure. So I'm not just getting them in, doing their procedure, and off they go. I really follow them from start to finish. So from consultation, procedure, and post-treatment, I really want to follow them through the whole process and support them the entire time.
Now, what is probably the most, let's say, interesting or most inspiring person that you've worked with in regards to their why?
So in regards to their why, I have a lot of people, or if you're a speaking person, I have someone that I have worked with before where they're later on in their lives, they're getting out of a relationship, well, a marriage, and they really want, to be able to feel like how they felt like when they were in their 20s and 30s. They wanted to feel good about themselves again. Being in this marriage for so long, they kind of just let themselves go because they were happy, they were content. They stopped taking care of themselves because they were happily married at the time. So this was a great transformation for me to do because I get to kind of bring them back out into the world and remind them of what kind of person they can be and not who they've been for the past however many years that they've been married. So really just sending them back off into the world and feeling good about themselves again. So those are kind of the transformations I love to do, is giving people a reason to feel like themselves again.
And then what's your why and your motivation behind starting this business?
My personal why is having a lot more control over my life. I didn't feel like I had a good work-life balance before. And what really didn't resonate with me is silly things like having to request for my vacation. I wanted to be able to do that when I wanted to. I have a dog. And I wanted to be able to go home and see my dog in the middle of the day without, being stuck until 5 p.m. when I can't see him, So having more freedom. And from the professional side, I wanted to be able to create an environment where patients didn't feel as intimidated when they walked in. So I worked in places before. You walk in, you feel like you have to purchase something. You feel like they make you feel like you have to do this now or never, or they're going to treat you differently. So I wanted to create a space where patients didn't have to feel like that. They didn't have to feel intimidated or pressured to make a sale. And I wanted to create a space that didn't feel as medical, as sterile, more cozy, more comfortable, so that they're coming in, they're getting needles in their face, they're already anxious. You walk into a space that feels medical, that feels sterile, that's gonna add fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create a space that was a bit more comfortable, more cozy, where they feel like they can be themselves without that pressure of making a sale.
So is that based on your own personal experience?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've worked in previous places before, and I honestly just kept finding myself saying, I wouldn't do it like that. I would
Okay.
do that differently. I would read how my patients felt being in that room, and I didn't like it. So
Yeah.
I was like, how can I change that? The only way I can do that was to be on my own, because I can't change how this business is running their business.
Okay.
The only way I could do that is to create a space where patients don't have to feel that way.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell us about, I guess, where you came from,
Yeah.
which led you to your business. Like, was it a
Yeah.
corporate place? Was it a private?
So, both. I worked at 2 med spas before, and then I've also had experience in the hospital setting, in different floors as a nurse.
Okay.
So, of course, the 12-hour shift life at the hospital, that never sat right with me, because I had to sacrifice a lot of my life in order to work.
Yeah.
Working in other med spas, like I said, I just felt like there were so many things I was finding myself saying, I could do that better.
Yeah.
I could do that differently. I could treat these people better and see them as people and not just somebody walking in through my door to make a payment that day. So, you know, working in those 2 med spas, I was like, I was happy, but I wasn't content.
Yes.
It wasn't enough for me. So that's kind of what led
Yeah.
me to start my own place.
And how has that impacted your life?
Amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's created drastic changes in my life, because now I don't have that pressure of having to answer to someone all the time. I actually get to know my patients.
Yeah.
Not just me, like, I get to make an impact in these people's lives, because
Yes.
they're not, you know, having that pressure that they used to have when they went to see me in those other places that I used to work at.
Yeah.
So for me, having all this freedom, being able to spend holidays, being able to take care of my now new puppy,
Yeah.
you know, I'm able to do these things that I wasn't able to do before.
Oh, good. I love it. So, what kind of challenges have you faced, and how have they impacted how you do business and lead in your business?
Well, the biggest challenge I've had was, I'm a nurse by background. I take care of people.
Yeah.
I don't know how to run a business. So that's my biggest challenge. I don't know how to be a business owner. So I had to shift my mindset from just being a nurse to also being a business owner. So the biggest and most impactful way that I did that was hiring a business coach.
Oh,
I
yes.
needed someone to tell me what to do and how to do things, and finding help and asking for help, and not just feeling like I gotta figure this out myself. I'm on my own now.
Yeah.
So I kind of let go of that. I accepted the fact that I don't know how to run a business, so I seeked help.
Yeah.
And then I asked people who I already know run businesses and so on. So that's what made my life so much easier with starting this in the first place.
That's good. I really like that, because even though you're in business by yourself, you're not really by yourself. And
Exactly.
good
Yeah.
for you for reaching out
Yeah.
and recognizing that you need help.
Yeah.
How, if you didn't reach out and get the help that you needed,
Yeah.
where do you think you would be today?
I don't think I would have started this business as quickly as I did.
Yeah.
So I started this business a month after I was let go from my previous job. And I had to get it done as soon as possible, because that was my main source of income. So the fact that I had no income unless I started this business right away, it really added fuel to the fire. I'm like, I had to get this done no matter what. There was no possibility of not having it happen. I had to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. And what would you say is like your core value in your business?
Being realistic with my expectations, and their expectations. In this industry, because of how good everything looks good online, it's easy to deceive patients. It really is. It's really
Yes.
it's really easy to deceive them and get them to come in and see you because of what they see online. So I pride myself in being authentic, not
Yes.
editing, not no Photoshop, no nothing, because I want patients to really see what they're going to get. So authenticity to me is very important in this business because I want patients to be realistic. I don't want them to think they're going to walk out a whole different person after one visit.
Okay.
So that's something that's very important to me.
I really, really like that. And as you said, like, you can easily deceive people online.
Yeah.
So being authentic and just letting people see who you really are and really connect with you. That's super important.
Yeah.
So are there any fears that people would have, like, you know, before they come to you or when you're doing the consultation, like making them look silly or a completely different way? Like, tell us about that.
So pretty much every single new person that walks into my clinic has that mindset. Oh, I'm going to look so fake and so overdone. And the first thing I always tell them is I have had so many procedures myself done. And I still don't look like overdone and pillow face is what we call it in my industry. And so, and this brings us back to the authenticity of the before and after pictures, because then I'll show them, look, this person has had this and this and this work done already, and they still don't look like those people that you see on these movies on social media. So I kind of ease them that way, and before they even come in, a lot of times they've looked at before and after pictures already. I always have a minimal approach. We start on the lower end and work our way up to kind of our end desired result.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So with business, there's going to come challenges. There's going to be a lot of success, but then there's also going to be failures or opportunities to learn, as I like to call it. Have you had any that have really had like a significant impact on your life or on your business?
Thankfully, knock on wood, not yet. So I've been in business just over a year. I'm able to still tweak and get to know what works and what doesn't in my business. So in terms of what hasn't worked, maybe certain procedures that aren't as popular for patients, I just don't bring them back, or I focus on what people prioritize more. So thankfully, in that sense, I haven't had any real difficulties. I really do seek the help if I really need it. I don't try to figure it out myself. I've accepted that. So I feel like that's really helped significantly with helping me, you know, get through rough times.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. And like you mentioned help. Getting a business coach. What are the ways are you resourceful in your business?
I feel that I'm resourceful in a sense where I really create a community around me. I do not look at my other injectors as competitors. I look at them as my peers. So I really try and create a community with them where they can reach out to me if they are short a supply, or I can reach out to them if I want to ask a question about a certain procedure. Maybe I'm having a complication. I really create a community so that we can bounce off of each other. We're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to achieve the same thing in all these people's lives. Instead of seeing them as competition, I rather just, befriend them and be like, hey, listen, I'm here for you if you need me.
That's good. I love it. And often when it comes to success, we define it or think of it in financial terms. What's your definition of success?
My definition of success, I would say, is first and foremost for myself, having the freedom that I do, being able to take half the day off just because I need to go run this and this and this appointment. That's for myself, having the freedom, having the luxury of making my own schedule. But in terms of the women around me, it's being able to, like I mentioned, create these real transformation in their lives where I am one of the determining factors that help them carry themselves differently into the world. Maybe I might help them set their own boundaries and just feel a lot better about themselves at the end of the day.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a great conversation.
Yes, I agree. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
And stay tuned. We will be speaking with Rekha and Rohit next.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Game TV's Watch and Win contest is back with over $75,000 in cash prizes. Tune in to Jeopardy weeknights at 8:30. Spot the code word, then head over to GameTVContests.com to enter. With a new code word every weeknight, that's 35 chances to enter. Don't just watch the winners, be a winner with Game TV's Watch and Win contest. Contest runs October 16th to December 1st. Visit GameTVContests.com for more info.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to At the Heart of Business. I'm your host, Judith Tate. At the Heart of Business is a conversation with women in business discussing their challenges and successes. Our next guests are Rekha and Rohit, owners of Bougify, a really cute toy company. I love this. I love what I'm seeing here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thanks
you,
so
Judith.
much, Judith,
Thank you so
for
much for having us.
Having us here.
It's great. I'm so glad to have you both here. And yes, it is a show for women in business, but also women who are supported by their partners or, husbands, partners in business and in life. So tell us all about Bougify, Bougify Inc.
Yeah. So Bougify, it's a child development company which is dedicated to promote well-rounded development of the child right from the birth. So we offer play rigs which are created based on decades of research and Montessori philosophy. So these play rigs, they are age-based, and so basically each play rig, it consists of all the right tools and toys which are required for the baby's progress, and at the same time it also has a digital guide for the parents which provides information about what the parents can expect from the baby and what activities the parents can do with the baby as per the stage, and other critical information which every parent need to know about their baby for that stage. So as of now, we have our play rigs from 0 to 12 months, but we do have plans of expanding them until 36 months.
Oh, wow. So play rigs, like how did you come up with that label for them?
Well, so we just wanted to come up with some name that resonates play and fun, and so that's where
we were trying to come up with list so many names and possible names to call these boxes, right? We didn't want to call boxes, basically. So we thought, and I'm a little bit into gaming, or I was, and we call them the gaming rigs and all the cool joysticks and the computers. So I thought, this is like a rig for a baby, so why not call them play rigs instead of play kits or play box? So that's how we came up with it.
Yeah, I love it. You guys are so creative.
Thank you.
I love the name Bougify. And I'm saying it right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so tell us how you came up with that name, because that's very different.
Sure. So actually, we both are from Hyderabad, India, and our language is Telugu. And in our language, Buji roughly stands for cute or sweet.
Okay.
And when our daughter was born, I started calling her Bougify, and I added the Phi based on all these cool companies like Shopify, Spotify. I started calling her Bougify.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then later when we started the company, again, we listed down several names for the company, but nothing was touching us as much as Bougify did. So we thought why not? She was the inspiration behind the company, and why not call the company with that name? So that's how Bougify came into picture.
Got it. I love it. Okay, so that kind of leads into your motivation and your why behind starting this company. So tell us about that.
Sure. So motivation, definitely, I would say it's our daughter Riva.
Yeah.
So when she was born in 2021, just like every parent, right? So we wanted to give her the best start, best tools and best toys so that she can have a healthy development cycle. And we were, of course, toy shopping. Then we learned three things. One is children their brain grows like rapidly in the first few years. Like almost 85% of their brain growth and development happens in the first 3 years, and giving them with the right tools at the right time, right experiences, it's absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
That's one. Second thing is when we walked into like toy stores or big box stores, there were like literally millions of options for us to choose, and we didn't know which was right option versus which was not.
Yeah.
So that led us to learning another thing, doing a little more research on this topic and identifying what's right, what not. But in the process, we also learned that the toy industry currently is the most plastic intensive industry, and more than 90% of the toys in the market today are made of like single-use plastics. And also a recent report by University of Toronto, it suggests that 87% to 90% of the toys they tested contained the carcinogenic chemicals that were actually banned in Canada a decade ago. So they were still on the shelves for babies to play with. So we started thinking about doing something, and that's how Bujify was born, just as a response to some of these challenges.
Okay, and why is that really important to you? I'll address that to Rekha. Why is that really important to you?
So basically aiming for perfection, especially like when we are creating toys which are targeted towards infant and toddler, we need to make sure that so those are safe from the design perspective, they are not toxic, and at the same time they are of high quality. So it's very important that like basically what we clearly talked to each other and decided is anything that we do not want Riva to play with, or we won't give Riva to play with, we definitely do not want other children to play with those toys, and that's where we decided that so those kind of toys, so even we do not want to have it on our
it all comes down to giving a safe opportunity or safe environment for our babies to grow, so that like the development happens in a right way, and as parents we are doing our best to give them the right things.
Good. Well, let's take a look at what you have here. So I'm looking specifically at these because I remember having something that looked very similar to that when I was a kid. So tell us about these three that look very similar. Are these like your original designs, or have they evolved over time?
Yes, that's a very good question. So yes, so these have evolved over time. So usually, so this is a ring stacker. So it's one of the product which you find it in our builder play rig. So the traditional ring stacker that you find in the market is something like this. Yeah. So when we actually originally gave it to Riva, so all she did was, so she removed these, and at some instances she actually used to put it in her mouth.
Oh, okay.
And or like she used to fall over it, and so that's a safety hazard. Yeah. And that's what we realized, and so during this process we thought, okay, so the products that we wanted to design for our kids, safety is our first priority, and that's where we started building the design, and then so we came up with something like this. So now on the top, so basically, so we have something like this, so which definitely like it meets the safety standards, safety choking standards as per the toy regulations put by US and the Canada, and so the child cannot put it inside. And at the same time, the other aspect is this is basically introduced around 9 to 10 months. So if you actually look at the size of the holes, at that stage for a child or for a baby to actually precisely put it into the stick, so it's very challenging. So that's where we actually came up with this design, where the size of the hole is big, but they would still be able to hold them, which is like for their fine motor skills, and at the same time hand-eye coordination, where they could put the ring into the stick. So
because I was going to ask, like, what what's the purpose? What's it supposed to develop?
Right.
So basically, so holding, so it's basically for their fine motor skills, where they hold the ring, and then it's about hand-eye coordination, which actually slowly develops and evolves over time.
Yeah.
And so it's basically for them to put this ring. Originally, it's challenging for us. It might seem a small thing, but for babies of that age, it's even challenging for them to take the ring out or put the ring into the stacker. So they start with actually taking the rings out, and slowly, as the baby grows, they would be able to put it back into the ring stacker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the traditional design that we can find almost everywhere.
Yeah.
But then slowly, like babies of around like 18 months to 2 years, that's when they start enjoying this more and using this more. But then we wanted to like bring it down a level and introduce at 10 months where they actually can work with these, and it helps in their senses and the development.
Okay, so you still do offer that, it's just at a later stage.
Yeah,
Probably at a later stage.
At the later stage. But at the moment, we have only the play rigs till 12 months. So we don't offer this at the moment.
You don't offer that. Okay, got it. That makes sense. And what's? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like since you asked about the product design, so I also actually would like to mention about this. So this is another product where we actually tweaked in a little and came up with our creativity to make it safe for children.
Yeah.
So again, like when I bought it for Riva, so. It looks cute, but at the same time, so the size of the snob, so it's again a choking hazard for kids, so it doesn't meet the safety standards. And surprisingly, like so I got this from one of the big box stores, and so I was assuming, like any other parent, that anything that I find in the big box store, they're all as per the safety standards and all. But surprisingly, when we actually sent it for safety testing, it failed the toy regulation safety standards because of the size of the knob. So so that's where we learned that okay, so not everything that we find on the shelf is approved or as per or meeting the toy regulation standards. And then we came up with, since we wanted to have a traditional rattle in our kit, so this comes as part of our rollover kit. So we came up with a new design where we actually added a ring around this knob, so that it meets the dimensions of the choking hazard, and it meets the safety standards as per the US and the Canada toy regulation. And
I love it. All right, well, we're almost done, so I got to ask you a couple more questions. What has been your biggest challenge?
Well, so we did have challenges every step of the way, but our biggest challenge is basically taking the plunge and making the decision to start the business after we got the idea, and we did talk through it multiple times. So basically, so we didn't know where to start or whom to talk to, or even to the matter, we had no clue about the market conditions. So it's basically, so I mean, considering all the uncertainties and our situation where we just had a baby, and both of us, so we work full-time jobs that keep us busy. So it was very easy to just give it up and just do nothing at all. But we wanted to do it for our daughter Riva, and also for other children like Riva who are born every day. So
that's great. Well, thank you so much. This was a great conversation. I love the toys. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I love your mission and your vision. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Great.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on another episode of At the Heart of Business.